Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Lisa Loring. How are you? Get my drink ready. Go get yours. Anyway, getting ready for tonight's reading, and you can go back and look at yesterday's if you want for May 28th, 29th, because tomorrow's the 30th, right? Actually, technically today, I haven't gone to bed. But I talked about how at the end of yesterday's reading, or at some point, I had looked at the bottom of the deck and I was struck by the fact that the Wheel of Fortune card had turned up. And I didn't really speak to it much in the reading. But just some stuff came up for me today in respect to that I thought I might mention because I think that the energy is still there. It's definitely, I mean, I'm definitely feeling it. You might too. And it's kind of been carrying through from when we saw this guy come up. This is the lizard card, and when I pulled from the Animal Spirit Guidebook or deck from Kim Kranz. The lizard came up as a commentary in the reading a couple of days ago for the 28th. And in the traditional tarot, the lizard king is the totem that accompanies the King of Wands, and that card came up in that reading as well. And of course, I didn't actually, I connected, I was like, oh gosh, that's right. You know, after I'd done the reading, I did a little note about it in the comment section once I posted it. But so this kind of lizard and dragon energy has been prevalent with us for a couple of days, and even in my own personal reading, like maybe the day prior to posting the one I did a couple of days ago, that King of Wands figure came up for me. And the King of Wands is all about being a master of your passions and following your passions and things that make sense to you, and following your heart, basically, in career, in whatever it is, in, you know, anything that fires you up. The Wands suit is the fire suit, and things that fire us up, things that are motivate us, things that we're attracted to, things that are bright and shiny, if you will, you know. And cultivating our own inner fire and how we express that through the things that we do. There's that as well. So it's not just about chasing things. It's also about how our passion shines through in the things that the people we elect to hang around with, the people who the endeavors that we pursue, the places where we live, you know, where we feel great, and, you know, basically it's our happy place, and where, you know, and what helps that come out in us. And so that dragon energy is, and there's a deck by Doreen Virtue, and I know that she doesn't do tarot anymore, and actively asks people not to use them anymore. But regardless, it's beautiful, good work. In fact, I used her mermaid deck today in my personal meditation, and I might use it in tonight's reading. But in that, the dragons are very prevalent. They're in the fire, in the wands, you know, suit in the tarot. So what was I going to say? So when this Wheel of Fortune card came up, I didn't really, like I said, I didn't really speak to it as as that final like note on last night's reading. But notice that that dragon on the top of the wheel really struck me last night. And again, these are the things, and it was all about listening to your heart, listening to your, and really listening to your feelings, not your head. The Suit of Wands came up in the Seven of Wands, so, you know, challenge your belief systems. You know, check in on your belief systems. Don't hold on to things so tightly. It came up in that Pentacles card, that Four of Pentacles card. Like I even noticed later, she was all like hung up in this tree, and she wasn't in a comfortable place. So again, what actually is a place that helps you shine? Like she was holding on to all those shiny things, but she was missing the things at her feet, the things that were growing out of the ground, the things that were natural. What she was doing and the way she was behaving in that artistry was very unnatural. She was in a very unnatural position. She was way up high. She was, you know, just not, she certainly wasn't passionate and shiny, you know. So at any rate, I noticed this dragon. So basically when we are in that good balance of maybe, yes, standing in our beliefs and checking in on ourselves. Um, and being more open to trying new ways that may help us find more passionate ways to be in life than in a position that we no longer feel comfortable in, but continue to cling on to because we're so afraid of doing something different. But when we find a way, when we do find a way of like moving into something that might be uncomfortable because our belief systems are being challenged, um, you know, what was I going to say? So, those that passionate, that dragon side, we can actually turn the wheel of fortune in a different direction and bring out this dragon side of us that's a small dragon, not like a giant, big, scary dragon. You know what I mean? Something that is very exciting and a great part of us, but not something that's overwhelming the situation. He's a natural part of the picture, not very much like our lady, our Pentacles lady yesterday. She was very natural in her environment. This dragon is also very natural in this environment, rather than overwhelming it, which that Seven of Wands guy was very overwhelming, and he was very forceful, and the girl in the Pentacles, she was very unnatural. So it was almost like they were like not paying attention to their feelings, like actively ignoring their feelings, and like actively ignoring the part where our feelings can be our guide. And in this time of Mercury retrograde, it is our feelings, not our logic, that's going to actually lead us to the places where our passion can shine. So that's just a commentary, and I will give one final commentary because this is the dragon card so again, the lizard, the dragons, they're definitely in the house. And I'll read just one piece from the Kim Cran's book, which I think will wrap up my discussion on this, sharing this with you. So dragon energy is seeing one's most true self, balancing the ego. Again, being, what's natural, being in balance. The dragon sees everything. Its essence has been with us since before our first breath and will be there at our last. It watches us navigate the external world as well as our inner world. When dragon energy is awakened, we are courageous, visionary, and can easily drop into witness consciousness. Again, checking your mind, like witnessing your thoughts rather than letting them run you, or witnessing your emotions rather than letting them run you. Some beautiful balance, that combination of the two, which is where we're going to shine, right? It is almost as if we are traveling with a great friend inside of ourselves. When we look in the mirror, deep in our eyes, we may even glimpse the self behind the self, the one who is watching us. This is the power of the dragon, breathing transformative fire into every cell of our bodies. Oh, and I'm just thinking of that dragonfly that was the chalice, that made up that dragonfly imagery that made up the Ace of Cup chalice. So that transformative energy, right? This is the power of the dragon, breathing transformative fire into every cell of our bodies. Witnessing this omnipotent energy, even for a brief moment, helps us surrender and let go. We let the dragon guide us. We hop on its back for a ride. We spin that wheel, right? We ride it and we spin the wheel of fortune, And as we traverse even the most difficult terrain, the dragon's eyes see beauty everywhere. It is said that if a yogi does not see beauty in the world, their Agni is dim. Agni is described as inner fire or sacred intelligence. And sacred intelligence is that combination of heart wisdom over head wisdom, or combined with head wisdom, but heart wisdom leading the way. Maybe even just the mention of the dragon stirs the embers of intelligence within you. And the dragon in the third chakra. Now, the third chakra is the Manipura chakra. It's the one is our creative one. It's where our the creative energies are in the body, male and female, where the sex organs are, where we create babies. And this is just the creative place in our body. It's where our intestines are. It's where, all of our creative juices are, things that nourish us. Most of our, we think, don't be fooled that if you eat, your food gets absorbed into your entire body system through your stomach. It doesn't. It actually comes through the intestinal tract. It goes out through the intestinal lining, specifically the small intestine. So in the Manipura chakra, Manipura translates to the city of hidden gems, and behind its gates burns the fire of our transformation and digestion. The sages believe health at the fire of the natal center is what governs our ability to clearly see both the inner and outer dimensions. So again, that very balanced place. So just wanted to share a few things that I thought about during the course of today. I sit constantly um, with the reading, and I leave it out on my little table here. It's my old steamer trunk, actually. I've had this in college. All my family pictures are in here. So it's a treasure chest, and it really does look like a treasure chest, actually. Pirates. Anyways, so I'm shuffling the deck, and I'm going to go ahead and use this, the Crystal Visions Tarot again tonight. And the Crystal Visions Tarot is by Jennifer Galasso. It's a great deck. Great deck. I enjoyed using it last night, and I heard from a few of you guys. Thanks for the comments, saying that the reading really resonated with you. If you have any questions ever, post them like, subscribe, and that just helps me get, the word out of what I'm doing, and hopefully helps other people too. So I'm just shuffling and seeing what the energy is for tomorrow, Sunday, May 30th. Happy Memorial Day weekend for those in the U.S. I think overseas it's a bank holiday as well. So what are the messages? Oh, got this one that flipped out. Got these guys who flipped out. Oh, we got a few things. Do we have one more for the road? One more. One more message. One more card to join this lovely array. Should actually point. Let me bring this down a little bit so you can see the cards that are coming out. See how the story continues to unfold for us. One more message. Oops. Okay, well, we got 3. So we'll see what we got. This might be a long one. I'll try to encapsulate what we've got. So far we have the Fool card. It's the first card of the major arcana. She's lovely. Speaking of transformation, a lot of butterflies, right? Love the pink in this. Just saying. I love the colors in that actually match what I'm wearing. These 3 came out next. We've got the 4 of Cups, a very contemplative, often melancholy kind of thing. She's also wearing a lot of pink. The 9 of Wands. So here's a graduation from that 7 of Wands, but this is a very different energy, isn't it? And again, another cat-like figure, a lion this time compared to the tiger that featured in our 9 of Pentacles yesterday. We have the Hangman. We've got another major arcana. So these 3 came out together. And then we have the Page of Swords. Ooh, messages coming in. Messages, thoughts. Sometimes unwelcome, a little sharper than we would like to experience. Ooh, 4 of Wands, though. Messages probably around a home situation. Again, about something we're passionate about. And the Justice card. So there's another major arcana. All right, so we've got a Court card. We've got 3 major arcanas. And we've got some in the suits. So the Fool card is a card of new beginnings. Kind of stepping off, legit stepping off a ledge. She's going. She's not even looking where she's going. In fact, in this particular one, she's really entranced by the butterflies. In fact, the way I'm seeing this is the butterflies are carrying her. Can you see that as well? My first instinct was like, girl, you need to turn around, look where you're going. But you know what? She's kind of like, bound. She's got something wrapped around her leg, which may be, it's almost like she's looking into the past, even though she's taking a step forward. And, when we take a step forward into anything that we're not sure of, we're always looking behind us, aren't we? But even though she's looking behind her, what I sense here is that she's, she's looking back. There are things about her past that she is going to take forward with her into the future. The future is very unknown, as it always is. You can always, you can only be in the present moment, but she's very trusting. She's trusting that these butterflies and the transformation that she's gone through will carry her forward. So coming, going back, she's, being in, again, being in gratitude, very similar message from what occurred last night for today's reading. We're still needing to, we're still really looking back, and what I'm getting here is to really appreciate all the work that has occurred, everything that has ever taking, really appreciating where you've been, every part of you, and know that you're going to take and transform those things as you move into the future. Transform them into something useful, transform them into something that is going to be beautiful. I mean, she's stepping into a bright, beautiful new day. It looks a little precarious, but don't believe the hype. She's going to be fine. She's going to be fine. Spirit will carry her. So in the next three, in the three that came out, we got the four of we got these three. They're almost like they're another little vignette here, with the Nine of Wands, the Hanged Man, and the Four of Cups. So the nine of Wands, she's pretty secure in what she's doing. She, like the woman in the Four of Cups, is very contemplative, right? And also the Hanged Man, also contemplating. He has also, if the wraparounds on his body, very similar to this one that's wrapped around this gal's leg. That's carried forward into this vignette. And a little bit in this mermaid's tail as she's looking in the lotuses. So, that's interesting. Oh, so there's her cups. So I was seeing the lotuses here as being the cups, and it seems like she's got like three behind her. It's almost like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, there's almost like a 7 of Cups feel to this card. And a 7 of Cups is, looking into the various spiritual smorgasbord, if you will. And she's kind of doing that as well. There's definitely that feel to things here. And she's not looking at the 3 cups behind her. She's looking just at that 1 cup. And, you've got this 9 of Wands. She's also got a very contemplative. Normally the 9 of Wands is, in the traditional tarot, is a little more combative, and definitely it's a ramp up from the 7 of Wands. But I found the 7 of Wands in this to be a lot more of a conflict card. She seems very, very stable in her passions. She has her Lion, again, very, very self-possessed person. And a 9, the graduation from this would be the 10 of Wands, which is like, okay, I've got to put some of these wands down. Or you can also read that as I'm accepting the responsibility that's in front of me. She seems very self-assured. And she has this lion here. The lion has a crystal ball. Like, she's self-assured about, whatever that future is, she's ready to meet it. And she looks like she's definitely taking that 1 cup forward. But she's, considering. She's still considering the various options, and the Hanged Man comes to validate that as well. The Hanged Man can also be, he has his hand over his eyes in this particular one, rather than his legs crossed in the 4. So the 4 is, again, the number 4 is very, very strong in this reading. We have it coming up again in the 4 of Wands. He has the 4 shape happening with the arrangement of his arms. So the stability of the past, which would be indicated by the 4, plus the 4 of Cups, still kind of looking at the past and wondering, what the outcome is going to be. But no matter what, the 9 of Wands is here to show us that, we have what it takes to meet whatever's going to come forward. And if we're calm, oh my goodness. So sorry about that. Just want to make sure that my video is still working. Yep, still working. So in the final part of this, we've got the Page of Swords, the Four of Wands, and the Justice card. The Four came out as the central part of this, and I think it can't, yeah, these guys came out this way. The Four came out as the central part of that. The Justice card, you know, she also has that stuff around her legs. The stuff around the legs thing, see, the lacing around the legs it continues to attract my eye. So I just would say, don't get so, you know, yes, take forward the things of the past that are going to be useful in the future. And we might not be sure exactly what that is, but be careful not to get too mired down that you're just continuing to gaze at those lotuses that are rooted in the muck of, you know, of, yes, a lot of what's a good life, but no matter what, she's ignoring those cups behind her, which could be, you know, those are full of things that are unknown, but she really doesn't want to pay attention to those. She's really just going to stare at these ones that are in front of her. And the lacing around everybody in, you know, their legs, you know, I would just warn against being too invested in the things of the past, or expecting the things of the past to come forward in the very same way that they were at one point. The transformation is that you know, a 4 is also actually a number of a transformation into something. It's a number of chaos, actually, not so much stability. Yes, you have the 4 walls, but sometimes we get so invested in the 4 walls around us and the stability around us that we don't want to change. You know, we'll do anything to keep those 4 walls the way they are, so nothing changes. But everything changes. The only constant in the world is change. And once those 4 walls are built, you know, you should cultivate them for sure, but you have to cultivate them and work with the change. Be fluid. So we've got the 4 of Wands as the central card in this little vignette. But I'm noticing again those 2 crystal balls. They're not paying attention to those crystal balls behind them. Again, that change. There's something, you know, there's more to come. Happily ever after is a very broad term. You have to keep working to meet each moment and be paying attention and be present. Not turning your back to it. She's not just looking at the one person in front of you. There's a lot more going on in this picture than just the person in front of her and the person in front of him. The situation in front of her, the situation in front of him. Look around you. Don't refuse to look. There's more on offer here. And the Page of Swords is here to, if you aren't paying attention, she's going to have something to say about it. Some information is going to come in, whether you like it or not. The Page of Swords is never a person who has a tactful way of bringing that information in. And the crows are there as well. So it's not something to be afraid of unless you refuse to acknowledge, or you're so afraid of change. And justice is here to bring that balance, you know, no matter what. Justice is here to bring in that change, to bring balance. But she's here to assure that there will be balance. So at the end of the day, what's the final message? You know, be fluid, go with the flow. I feel like some of that messaging from last night is still that's one thing that I didn't say about last night was, you know, the fluidity. There was so much water in that message. It's be fluid, go with the flow, bring in the new information, Be in a place of curiosity, which is an attribute of the Page of Swords. Curiosity about what's going on. Don't cover your eyes. Open them. Be contemplative. Be calm. Be adventurous, and meet what's coming towards you with an eye towards curiosity, and have courage to let your current situations transform and become something different. Be in that witness perspective like the dragon. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. See what you guys have to say about that. Interesting to see what comes up for y'all. Thank you for joining me. And again, yeah, just if you want a personal reading, I'm happy to do that for you. Just let me know. And Lisa, you can email me directly, lisa.loring, lisa.loring @gmail.com. Just comment, like, subscribe, and share. All right? I love you guys. Have a great one.